Well, hello there, hey there, ho there. It's Wanda Wisdom. Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. I was channeling the complete wrong show. It's Chubs Gone Wild, episode 461, recorded on September 19th, 2022. And it is currently 68 degrees outside the Chubs Gone Wild studios, and we're expecting thunderstorms. Dun dun dun. That'd be kind of cool, huh? Huh?
Well,
Yeah.
I want to tell you something I mentioned a few weeks ago. I had said, because we don't get rainy weather in September,
True. Not anymore.
and well, we never did. September was cooler, but we usually don't get rain until late October, November.
All right.
But with climate change, I had mentioned, sure, it might get a little hotter, but that doesn't mean we're not going to see different kind of weather here than
Right.
we normally have. I mean, remember back a few years ago, a tornado in California was like never heard of. Now,
Right.
every once in a while, we get these little teeny ones,
Uh-huh.
that, that are fortunately in very rural areas, but
And they go right after that IKEA deck furniture. Yeah. Yep.
so then who knows, maybe this winter we're going to get some snow.
Hmm.
I mean, you never know. I
I
just
mean,
think,
it has snowed here before. It's just
well,
it doesn't stick.
it snowed here before, but the last time it snowed that was anything real snow that stayed on the ground for a day
Yeah.
has been,
100 years ago.
well, it happened when I was a kid. I remember that one time we had it when I was a kid because we
Hmm.
had snow on the ground out in Fair Oaks, but it just usually doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
I just think that if we're going one extreme, there's a real good chance we might go the other extreme, which as long
True.
as it's in
Yeah.
December or January or February,
Right.
pretty good. But if it comes in March or April, that's bad because we just have so many things. Well, we have things growing in January and February as well along the coast, but they shouldn't be as hit as hard as we would be if we had snow. Anyway, I just think that if we can be 115 degrees in September,
Hmm.
and then the next week it's raining in September, something's up.
Yep. Oh
And
yeah.
and, and where it's going to go, I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see. They've been predicting that 100-year flood here.
You heard about the earthquake in Mexico,
No.
7.5 this morning,
Wow.
and it was
Who
probably
pissed off the gays in Mexico?
$250, $250, 250 miles north of Puerto Vallarta.
Huh.
But what was interesting was this morning, the I guess it's the country of Mexico had an earthquake drill, and
Hmm.
then like minutes later, it got hit by a real earthquake.
Don't tempt fate.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting because 7.5, that's a big earthquake.
That is. It's huge. Yeah.
So yeah, uh,
Yeah.
earthquake, tornadoes.
Dogs barking. Don't
Yeah,
stop. Dogs barking. Need umbrella.
and you heard the hurricanes hitting Puerto Vallarta. No, yeah, no, the other one, other side. Uh,
Keep talking.
starts. Where'd you go? He's gone. What's happening here? Hello? Okay, it's Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico just got hit with a hurricane. So fun times in the heat from we weren't the only one that had the heat last week either. So or 2 weeks ago, it was across the northern part of the nation as well as the west coast. So not pretty. Oh wait, sounds like um the dog barking has stopped. Hmm. uh, that's not a natural occurrence in nature, though. So I'm assuming that he has put us on hold, um, because I don't see anything. Well, we don't have a running number here. Hello? Hello?
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
Did you put us on hold?
No,
Okay.
I didn't think I'd be doing anything more than just yelling out my bedroom door, but mother had to step outside to get a delivery, and Kaya just putting us on hold now. Well, if we didn't have such a lovely discussion, I would just start the show all over. But we won't. We will continue to go and just realize that Mercury is in retrograde and
It's always
communication
in retrograde. That's not an excuse anymore.
needs to stop. Anyway, okay. Well,
Well, I did have a whole conversation when you were gone.
good. I will be happy to listen to it later. Hopefully, you weren't as mean to me as you usually are. So,
Oh yeah,
did you
it
talk
was
about
very
the Queen?
well, only embarrassing things about it.
Oh,
Yeah, did you watch the funeral?
no, I have not. I will probably wait till there's a rerun of it. A rerun of it,
Oh my God,
video.
listen to you.
I'm scattered to the wind right now. Um, I will wait till there's a good copy of it up on YouTube where I can kind of fast forward it a bit. But yeah, I will watch it, but I haven't today. Did you see
I
any
bet
of
you.
it?
I'm almost sure it's going to be on Hulu
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're probably right.
because they've had a couple things on Hulu about the Queen.
Did you
So,
see that the Crown was like practically #1 on Netflix?
oh well, yeah. I mean, it's the big thing, because now everybody wants a piece of that. Of course, they loved it as well. Here it is. There's a special showing. Oh, that's live. Okay. Yeah, there should be one on here because, like I said, I saw one a couple days ago, a whole special about um, the Queen and her time in office, and
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of stuff out there, and it's going to continue for a little bit. But I think as soon as they have the coronation, that some of the more Queenie stuff will die down just a bit.
well, you heard what happened with the corgis.
That well, the last I heard that Andrew was taking two of them, and that the others were going with Anne.
Well, no, they haven't gone yet. So they went into Charles's bedroom and woke him up this morning saying, we don't care if you're king or not, you still have to take us out to pee.
That's lovely. I like that.
It's
Did you
true.
see his little meltdown over the pen?
That wasn't a meltdown. I thought that was hilarious. It's like, what is that? Get it out of here. You know, and I mean, hey, believe me, remember this guy and his meltdown has been pushing climate change correction
Yeah.
for years, where the rest of the family has been like, oh, please, we're too rich. What do we care? And I mean, it's been his major issue. He is going to bring in a lot of good.
I hope so. I
And
really
so
do.
I have no problem with his, I mean, you know what? If it's not supposed to be there, why is it here? I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I've seen
You can
plenty.
save those for off camera.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of things where people are like doing something, and it's like, where is this? And I remember Trump used to move things around to where he wanted it.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, it's not a big deal. I think it's actually, I thought that the pin thing was hilarious.
Cool. All right. Well, it is 32 days until Canadian Thanksgiving, where they fill their turkeys with poutine and have a grand old time chugging maple syrup and
Well, at least there's something to eat. As uh, I was watching something just recently where it was a Thanksgiving show, and
Mhm.
it's like Yuck, 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 yuck.
Oh, Thanksgiving show. Well, the thing is, it and here's the thing is we get stuck in our traditions because that's how we were raised. But I have learned over the years that if you don't like something, then you can still celebrate or whatever. Just find an alternative to it that you like. And so many people are resistant to that idea because they want to stay with the traditions that their family raised them in. Well, you know what? I can't stand jello. I certainly don't want jello with marshmallows stuck in it. And I don't like sweet potatoes, nor you can melt all the stuff on top of it you want. There's still nasty, icky sweet potatoes.
Well,
Anyway, and
what about
green
a
bean
nice fruit
casserole, what
pie?
the fuck? This is something that, some satanic person came up and said, hey, green bean casserole. And then somebody said, oh, okay. No, no,
Well,
stop
you gotta
this.
remember
Stop
most
these
most
things.
of our Thanksgiving traditions stem from um, food makers in this country over the past probably 100 years.
Well, and that's
The
wonderful.
Swanson
And I know
dinner,
a lot
you
of
know,
people like different
Swanson
things.
frozen dinner was derived because they wanted to make sure people could have turkey dinner all year long. And
Right.
what did that
Yes.
have in it?
And
It
it
had
was
turkey,
cheaper back then.
dressing, gravy, mashed potatoes, and was it corn? And then a cranberry, gook in the middle.
Actually, I liked the cranberry cook in the middle. But yeah, and that's fine. And turkeys were, they needed to find some way to utilize turkeys back then too. But
Because
I'm
there was no
just
turkey
saying
at the original Thanksgiving.
that if you don't like something at Thanksgiving, then don't eat it. Don't make it. Find something else that you like. I don't particularly like apple pie, but that's okay because pumpkin is the blessing of the season, and
So
that is my
instead
favorite
of
pie.
eating turkey dinner, you could just eat ass.
Well, depending. Uh, one year I made what or was that for Christmas?
Ham.
No,
That's
oh
Christmas.
gosh, no. I forget whether it was for Christmas or for Thanksgiving, but we always did like the double turkey, like you had a turkey on both of them, and uh,
Eat a turkey on both of what?
on Christmas and Thanksgiving. So
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you basically just replicated the entire meal for on a different, day, which I never fully, yeah. Anyway, so point being, I when mom and I moved out on our own, I made the little hens, like the little gamish henny things. And we
Cornish.
had something different. And then I realized I don't really like those either. But you know what? We can have different things we want. One Christmas, all we had was pie and whipped cream. That was it. Pie and whipped cream, and it was good. So make your own traditions if you don't like the other stuff. Just saying. Anyway, so also it's 42 days till Halloween, 66 days till Thanksgiving, 97 days until Christmas, and just 43 days until TJ Zombie Girl retires and gets her Social Security and becomes a free woman. Well, maybe not Social Security because, well, I mean, she's not that old. So, um, just saying.
So
I
that
don't
rant
know. She hasn't
that,
told me.
that rant was all about Canadian Thanksgiving. Wow. Okay.
Yes, yes. The Canadians need to take responsibility and stuff their turkeys
Well,
with poutine.
is it even turkey?
Uh, you know what? That's a good. I would think so, but that's a good question. I'm not completely sure.
And what's wrong with poutine? I'd rather have
Oh, nothing at
fries and
all. Although I've
gravy.
never really had it.
Really, you've never had fries with gravy?
No,
Oh, you haven't had like a Salisbury
I
steak
live in California. We have
with fries.
fusion
What are you
food.
talking about?
What?
You haven't had like a meal where you're eating and it comes with fries and whatever it was, chicken fried steak, or it was like a Salisbury steak and it came with a gravy. Okay.
No, not a poutine gravy.
Well, poutine gravy is not poutine.
Yeah,
It's just gravy.
it's taken from the poutine plant.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
God.
Jesus.
Anyway,
Oh.
let's talk about Patreon. Patreon offers folks
How
a
old is
way to
TJ Zombie Girl?
what?
How old is she?
Well, not that old. I have no idea. I would hazard to guess what, maybe our age?
Well,
Our
I'm
age?
of age. Oh, I see. Okay.
Our age. I include you in our age. You've been there. You know what it's like.
Oh, I've been there. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And you can,
Me?
yes, go to the site and find out how you can become a member for as little as $1 a day over at
Month, month,
patreon.com slash
dollar a month.
Matt Burlingame. Yes, month. I don't know why I say. I
Oh,
guess
yeah, I know why
I
you
channel
say.
Sally Struthers. I want the little children to survive. $1 a day.
No, that's a cup of coffee. What
No,
costs a cup
it's
of
a
coffee?
dollar a day because a cup of coffee now, that would be like $5 a day.
Well, yeah, but she was doing that in the 70s, where
That's
you could
true.
go to,
Oh, that
remember you could
reminds
go
me.
to, Denny's and get a cup of coffee for 50 cents.
Yeah, or less. Did you hear that she's going back out on stage? She's going to be in, oh, now I forgot what she's going to be in, but she's going to be in
Louise,
a revival of one of the bigger shows, and I think
oh,
it's going to be in
Titanic,
London.
she's playing the boat.
Okay, listen. Just because this is Chubs Gone Wild does not mean that we indulge in baseline humor. Anyway, we would like to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Stage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Brothers Anadis, Phoenix Dave, Kingsley, and Moose Bait. So, and I already told you all the other stuff. So, thank you for supporting us.
Let's just keep talking
Today,
about
what?
nothing.
On September 19th, which is today, in 1957, the United States detonated a 1.7 kiloton nuclear weapon in an underground tunnel in the Las Vegas test site, a 1,375 square mile research location located 65 miles north of Las Vegas. The test, known as Rainier, was the first fully contained underground detonation and produced no radioactive fallout. So they say.
Yeah, that's why we have all those kids with 4 legs in Nevada. But
We don't talk about them.
yeah, we know that's not something we
They work in Cirque du Soleil now, so it's all good.
yeah.
All right. Entertainment history.
Da 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 da.
What was the number one song in 1950?
Of all in 1950,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's something by Elvis.
Yep.
So no.
It was Goodnight Irene by Gordon Jenkins and the Weaver. I know, right? What was the number one movie in 1950?
In 1950 or the 50s?
Like the full year, 1950.
Oh, you're saying 1950. You said
Yes,
50
yes.
for
Sorry.
the song.
In 1950.
Okay, I would say the number one movie was God, there's so many to choose from that year. It's a
It
big year.
surprised me, actually.
I would say it was probably either Sunset Boulevard or All About Eve.
Sunset Boulevard was actually a little bit later. I think it was 54.
Oh,
I think it
no,
might have been 50.
it was.
No, you're right. You're
I
right.
know I'm right. Why
Yeah,
am
I
I
know
always?
because you know them all by, yeah.
Thank you.
I was looking it up earlier and I thought that was the number one movie. Actually, the number one movie for 50 was Samson and Delilah by Paramount Pictures.
Yeah, one of those big Panavision
Hmm.
bullshit movies they were probably 2-3 hours long, and
Probably.
and people that I mean that those are the things. That's why they made shows like The Greatest Show on Earth and Ten Commandments and Ben-Hur that went
Right.
on forever, was because they were big, that you could not see that on your little TV screen.
I can now. But yeah, the Samson and Delilah, I had actually I've never heard of it. So I'm not gonna look at it. I never cared for that story anyway. It just sounds so long. Anyway, what was the number one TV show in 1950?
Um, see, I'm not sure when things started back then, so I'd say like Sid Caesar's Comedy Hour.
No, not too far off. Well, okay, but I gotcha. Texaco Star Theater with a 61%, 61.6% share.
Well, and what was that?
What is that?
What's the show?
Texaco Star Theater.
So what does that mean?
Oh, I think that's the show that would like do live stage type shows
Okay.
back then. Yeah. I think that's where like is it Requiem for a Dream? I think that was a real popular one that they did. I'm not sure. I have seen that before, but that was a
It's
long time
Requiem for a
ago.
Heavyweight.
They didn't actually, I think some of
Requiem for a Heavyweight.
there you
Requiem for
go.
a
That's the
Dream
one.
is that drug movie from the
With like Eileen Brennan or something.
yeah, no, yes, no, not Eileen Brennan, it was Ellen Burstyn.
There we go. I knew it started with an E. A certain
And
person
an E,
from
E and
my
D.
past
Yeah,
made me sit and watch that, just thinking it was the most amazing film
I know.
ever. And
I've
I'm
had
like, ugh. Anyway,
the
no, it was.
refrigerators attacking. Oh my God.
I
Now that
was
gives me nightmares.
I was horrified at the end of that film. Anyway, alrighty, Rue. So that was entertainment history. Now let's find out if we've celebrated anything today. Today short day. We celebrate Talk Like a Pirate Day. Arr. Ooh, that reminds me, I need to get into WoW. It's Pirate Day. Woo! Also, Meow Like a Pirate Day. Meow. National Butterscotch Pudding Day. I do like butterscotch pudding. It's the little fisheye things I can't stand.
Oh, those are good.
Tapioca.
The thing I don't like about butterscotch pudding is the color.
Okay, I just look at it as the color of like caramel.
Yeah, but it's just to me, it's because like in the little butterscotch candies, they're like
Mhm.
like a golden yellow, and that's yummy. And then the pudding comes out and it looks like dew,
Baby poop.
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have
Puppy vomit.
what's that?
Puppy vomit.
That's yeah. We have Woman Road Warrior Day. I haven't seen that movie. Oh, isn't this lovely? Okay. I don't know if you can hear the leaves that just have to be worked on across at the neighbor's house today.
Well, you need to soundproof that recording studio of yours.
I know. Maybe I would if you came back, but
No, it's not going to happen.
oh, so sadsies. Okay, today we are closing the window, hoping that helps the inconsiderate people that have to do this today.
God, you know, when you're spinning around, you look like Jupiter.
Oh, you're so sweet.
And that's not because it's
You
the big
look like
planet.
Uranus. No, isn't it you because of my beautiful shirt?
Yeah, and that's all we saw, and it was spinning.
Oh,
It had nothing to do with your weight.
oh.
Yeah, but I'm an anus, so that's okay.
Hey, Uranus is the best part of you. That's what I've been told. Okay. Anyway, seriously though, I'm really enjoying the pictures that are coming out of these new telescopes out there. I mean, have you seen Neptune? It's beautiful.
Only
Oh,
in
and Saturn.
movies.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Well, let's take a moment. Calm down. Take a deep breath. I now release all that I no longer need. Things, ideas, habits, relationships. I will make for the new to come bursting forth in my life. All over my face. Okay, for those who are not watching the video, which is probably most of you, Tom just mimed killing himself. And now I can see why he won so many acting awards because it really was a brilliant performance. So, yeah. All right. What we have next here? We've got some birthdays.
No,
No?
you have to do today's abomination yet.
About what?
Today's abomination. The new calendar.
That's what we just did. Remember, we took a deep breath and centered ourselves, and I read that
Oh, is that what
beautiful
you're
thing.
reading? Okay.
Yes.
Birthdays.
Okay, Queen. Here we go. Today's birthday is happy birthday, Josiah. Author Katie Bone. Also, John Steinkamp, who did all the narration for two of my books and was just one of the most brilliant narrators I've ever worked with. Also, Christian. You ever notice when there's people that pop up on your Facebook that you're like, when did I friend them? And who are they? And when did that happen? Anyway, just wondering. All right. Also, upcoming birthdays. Happy birthday to Ronald. Oh, that Nico, that sweet Nico. Megan, Ginny, Jen, Rhonda, Patrick, Charles, Penny. Oh, that beautiful Penny Klein. We've worked with her in the theater many, many times. Also, Ed. Oh dear. Uh, and Rachel, who is an avid reader of mine.
And it's also Paul Williams's birthday.
Oh, now he's not with us any longer, right?
Yes, he's still with us.
Oh, he is.
He's 82. Yeah, I don't think he's writing anymore, but
That's a
he's gotten
shame.
his Oscars and his Grammys and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, and he still has not brought Phantom of the Paradise to Broadway, which I still think is a mistake. But
Yeah.
yeah, he brought us the "We've Only Just Begun" song.
He is one of the most
Prolific.
he is an amazing talent. And until you talked about him, and I think another person who I won't anyway, just an amazing talent. Just did so much, and I had no idea it was him. I just remember him as kind of the funny little guy who did guest spots on things. It turns out he was a freaking genius.
Well, yeah, he went and started doing all those Burt Reynolds cop movies. He
Yeah,
was always the assistant to the sheriff, and then from there he would do roles occasionally. But yeah, I mean, his true thing was, I mean, you look back, he wrote Evergreen for
ah,
Streisand. He wrote, like I said, he wrote for the Carpenters. He wrote for, I mean, everybody wanted
TV
one of his
show
songs.
themes.
Yeah,
Just
everybody wanted one of his songs.
yeah, brilliant. Okay, there's nothing in our feedback, but so Chub hugs, and I would like to send Chub hugs out to Ramble Redhead, whose kitty repeat passed. And also, I have noticed on Facebook that there are lots of pets and family who are passing these days. So, huge chub hugs out to all of them. How about you?
Well, as always, people of Ukraine, we're
Oh,
dealing with the
yes.
idiots of Russia,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then now the people of Western Mexico just had that earthquake that we discussed earlier.
Right.
I mean, thank goodness for our weather being, I mean, we dropped from 108 degrees to 88 degrees in one day. And then we haven't been above 88 degrees. Actually, we haven't been above 80 degrees since. So, good for us to have a little bit of a change.
Yes.
So, but hugs out to any of those people being affected by bad weather, like in Puerto Rico, who's suffering from a hurricane.
Yes.
So it's all of us that are having nice weather and nothing horrible happening to them. Let's think about those that are having shitty days.
Yep. Yeah, especially the Puerto Rico stuff.
And it's almost the anniversary of the one that hit them before.
Yeah, we need, I say we, I mean, I don't know the specifics, whether it would be, I don't know. But Puerto Rico just needs to be a country already. And yeah, I mean, if only so that they can get the infrastructure funding and stuff that they need, because they're not getting it. They're not getting it from these yahoos. Did you read the other day the article that came out that was highlighting how Trump tried to trade Puerto Rico for Greenland?
I knew he wanted to sell Greenland, or he wanted to buy Greenland, but I didn't know he was trying to trade Puerto Rico for it.
Yeah. Yep. And he wanted to take all the money that was going to be sent to Puerto Rico to help them and use it to buy Greenland. And the Danish basically said, no, you're weird, go away. So anyway, a quick word about monkeypox. Visible signs of a monkeypox infection usually start within 3 weeks and include flu-like symptoms, rashes, and sores that can look like pimples or blisters. It typically lasts 2 to 4 weeks and is spread through direct touching infected areas of the skin, body fluids, intimate contact, and touching items such as clothing, bedding, or towels used by someone with the virus. Learn more at cdc.gov, and this information was sponsored by Golden Rule Services at sacgrs.org. All right, well, let's talk about a few queer headlines. There's an angry judge that blocked Montana's latest attempt to stop trans people from correcting their birth certificates. The judge said, "I'm a bit offended. The department thinks they can just do anything they want." Molly Kearney will be the Saturday Night Live's first non-binary cast member. The A League of Their Own actor joins the cast of NBC's late-night sketch comedy show as a featured player. That's pretty cool. Florida teen successfully ousted 2 anti-LGBTQ lunatics from the local school board. The lunatics included a woman who once asked the police to investigate school libraries for offering an LGBTQ-themed book. Pete Buttigieg sends heartwarming letter to gay teen activist in Florida. "There is no doubt that your example will open doors for many others who now look up to you." And finally, Dolly Parton's fans are delighted, announcing the new dog apparel line, Doggy Parton. The Doggy Parton collection includes sparkly outfits, furry cowboy hats, pearl collars, Dolly-themed dog toys, and even a blonde wig. That's pretty cool. All right, and now that you're up on all the other stuff, Tom wants to let you get up on his week.
Oh, well, let me start. I think I've mentioned this before, but I love the song "Summer Breeze" by Seals and Croft, which it's kind of funny if you really look at the lyrics. It's talking about this guy who's just wants to get home to his wife and enjoy the summer evening. Basically, it's a very simple song, but there's a line in there where he says he goes into the house and she's standing there not a care in the world. And believe me, when you're retired, I
Uh,
know what that means. Uh, it's like Sean
take
gets home
note,
from work.
TJ.
Sean gets home from work, and I've got the whole house fan on, and it's cooling, and I'm making dinner, and I'm not thinking about anything, and it's just great.
Nice. That is
It's
great. And
it's a
I was listening to Men at Work last night with that them talking about um
land down under.
Johnny.
Oh,
That song, where I forget which one it is, but it's the one where the guy's talking, and he's all like, hey Johnny, what kind of boy are you? You don't want to play football with the boys. You don't want to. And I was like, this is the biggest creep. I never realized how creepy this fucking song was until I heard that last night. Anyway, I'm
well,
interrupting your week.
well, it's funny because there's a song called "Ricky Don't Lose That Number" that definitely sounds like a queer situation, and they swear Steely Dan says it's not. And then there was another song by Sneaker called James, and it's spelled Jaymes, and they go, "Oh, that was a girl named James. That's a girl named James." But
Uh-huh.
they both are just such queer songs, and it's like at a time period where those kind of things didn't go over well, but
Yeah.
Ricky Don't Lose That Number was one of their big hits. So
I still remember listening to Rick Springfield and thinking that
you wish
I
you were
want to be
happy.
Jesse's girl.
Right.
He was saying, I want to be Jesse's girl. And I was just like, wow. Of course, I was like 13, 14 at the
And
time,
he
but
said, I want to have Jesse's girl.
I know. And I was hearing the lyrics wrong, but I was just like, oh my God, so do I. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway, so speaking of that, League of Their Own, oh my God, it gets gayer and gayer all the time. Well,
yeah.
lesbianer all the time. It's crazy because you're sitting there, and the thing is that this is the early 40s, so
Mm,
um, this has not been discussed before. Because in the movie A League of Their Own, they didn't talk about the girls looking like lesbians. I mean,
right.
they did get them to look all pretty and be more feminine, but they never really called the L word out. So
Hmm.
it's really interesting that what they're doing with that. On RuPaul's Drag Race this week, she exposed all the queens for who they really are. And
Oh,
let's see, we got three right. It was AJ from Backstreet Boys.
uh-huh.
Um, it
Saw
was
that one.
Kevin McHale from Glee, who played Artie, and then the fat guy on the show, the fat queen was the guy from Mean Girls, who played the gay guy on Mean Girls.
I've been meaning to watch that again. I haven't seen it in years.
Okay. Anyway, so that was fun. He ended up going home, the guy from Mean Girls, but
Oh,
I'm really rooting for Kyle McHale, but Kevin McHale
Kevin.
got a
Yeah.
feeling it's going to be AJ is going to win. AJ
Yeah, I
wants
saw
to
his
win.
clip. He was good.
He wants to win.
Huh?
I mean, it's really like, okay, girl, calm down. Let's see, on Big Brother, they got rid of Elisa. Taylor won HOH, and now she's put people up for. This is there's only four people left, so the HOH goes into the top three, so they automatically advance, and then there's only two people on the block, and then one person that can vote for who goes home. So the whole idea is the veto contest is the most important contest to win. If you
Mm,
win the veto contest, you hold all the cards. So,
nice.
and last night, oh God, I can never remember his name. One of the guys ended up winning it. So looks like Bethany's going home, but actually Bethany, pain in the ass she is, it's better to sit next to her than the other guy. So
Mm.
we'll see what happens. Okay, on the Bachelorette this last week, this is the first of two nights of finals. So the other night is tomorrow night. So I can't wait for that. But so what happens is we left off where Zach had just told Rachel that he wanted to talk to her, and so he basically says, you know, after the overnights, I realized that you suck and I want to leave.
Ah,
And
yep.
so Rachel is like trying to hold together, and she's trying to hold her breathing, you know, trying to keep calm. And then she goes, because she's right at the rose ceremony, so she goes in. There's 2 roses left. She basically throws them at the 2 guys left, and goes, "Okay, this is great. I'm gonna go now." And then she's like has a breakdown. So that was fun. Um,
Well,
and then
she's such a bitch.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, sorry, I really shouldn't say that. You know,
No, no. What happens is that I think that these 2 women have the weight of the world on their shoulders. The producers are going, you
yeah,
need to make these guys propose.
right.
If you don't get them to propose, you are a failure. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. They're basically, parents.
right. So, and they went back to the live studio, and that's Zach came out and explained himself to Gabby. I mean, explained himself to Rachel, and
Mm,
how he probably should have done it better. He just didn't know what to do because the producers don't let them. They're not. They don't have time to spend with each other and share
mhm.
what their angsts and anxieties are. So what happens is, you know, they go out on the overnight, and then the next time they see them is at the rose ceremony.
Right.
So it's not a lot of time that he can talk to her ahead of time. And she's, you know, well, I really wished I would have known something, you know, because you really kind of, you know, like you just threw it at me, and
Blindsided me.
yeah, I didn't know what to expect. And it's like, well, you know, we don't have those kind of opportunities. And the only reason Zach is saying all these things is because he's hoping to get to be the Bachelor the next time, which he is rumored to be, but they haven't said it yet. And then, by
I
the way,
think he'll be a great bachelor.
Gabby's hair on the
Oh,
live show was so cute. It looked so nice. So
yeah.
anyway, okay, then
I want Gabby to do well, but she just, I don't know, these 2 women. Anyway, sorry.
okay, so then after that, Rachel brings Avon to her family, and
Mhm.
when he's talking to them without her there, he's going, well, you know, I don't know that I'm ready to propose, but I mean, I'm having a great time with Rachel, and I really see her in my future. But you know, we've only really gotten to talk a few times, and throwing a proposal out there just seems wrong. And then her family goes, you know, he told us that he's not ready to propose.
Yep.
She's like, what? What? Oh my God, how could you embarrass me that way in front of my family? And it's like,
And
well, no,
she has a meltdown.
I just wanted to be truthful. And so she has a meltdown. Um, and I'm loving it. And then Gabby takes Eric to meet her family, and that all goes really well because she ain't got no other choice. So
Right.
she's gonna make sure it works. And let's see, and it was boring. Timo meets Rachel's family, and they all really like Timo, but Rachel's already kicked Avon to the curb. Now she's got Timo kind of saying the same thing about proposing,
Yeah.
and it's and she's like, look, I only want one thing in life, and that's a proposal next week.
And the way that she was all like, I will come out of this engaged. It was like, oh, girl.
Yeah, she's just a sad, pathetic girl. And then so Rachel sits down with Avon live, and he apologizes as well.
Which I don't think he should have.
I don't
I
think so
mean, he
either.
made it clear to her, I do want to pursue this. I do want to pursue you, but come on, let's be realistic here. We need a longer engagement. And she just flipped out.
Well, see, this is what I don't understand. Now, these guys have got to know that on the show, the whole point is that it ends with engagement,
Right.
whether or not none of these people ever get married.
Yeah.
So what does it matter? Just give the girl the ring. You get to be on TV. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
And that's what the girls are thinking too. What is wrong with these guys? Don't they know what this whole show is about? Do
Right.
they just come here to do nothing? Oh, I didn't think I'd get this far, so I'm not worried. Anyway, finishing up. So let's see. Okay, Rachel. Oh yeah, and basically apologizes since Rachel's been bad mouthing him the whole time.
Uh-huh.
And so that made her shut up. But what I liked was Avon was wearing, do you see he had a pearl necklace on? Like a real pearl necklace?
Yes.
It was so beautiful. I want one now. Okay.
Oh,
Just want to throw that out.
okay.
Uh, and I've got a very large neck. So anybody interested in giving me, no, I'm not saying that right. Okay, you know what I mean.
Uh-huh, I
Anyway,
know.
so then Eric and Gabby go out and he says he wants to date her and she's like, date me? Proposals are next week. What are you doing? Oh, all right. Lost my camera there for a second.
With your
There we go.
voice.
So that's where we're at. And then next week or tomorrow night, we'll find out what's happening. So it's very, very fun.
Man, they're drawing this shit out though.
Let's see, watching the 8th season of Alone. And this has been very interesting because they moved them to another place in Canada and it's much more beautiful. It's a really gorgeous place. The water looks like Tahoe, where it's just like that greenish blue aqua color, and it's clear as can be. It's just like they go, I wonder if I have a fish. Well, we can see you have a fish. It's so clear. And so but what's happening is this place has no, well, the fishing kind of sucks. A couple of people have had some luck fishing, but most of them have had no luck. Most of the people haven't eaten anything in like weeks. That, I mean, any protein, because they can't, there's no rabbits. I mean, one person got a rabbit. One person shot a deer and that's all his. So good for him.
Yeah.
But some people have got a fish, but there's some people who are just still eating herbs and shit off the ground. Oh, I found some berries, and they wonder why they've got diarrhea the next day. Okay, that's all those berries. Look at what the bears do. And then they have grizzly bears all over this place, right? And
can't they kill a bear?
But I mean, what I'm talking about is if you're camping, let's say you're camping, which won't happen, but let's say you are.
Right.
And all of a sudden you find out that there's been a grizzly bear either on your beach where you're kind of fishing or hanging out around your tent at like 3 o'clock in the morning. You're going to be pretty fucking weirded out, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, because these are like 1,200-pound grizzly bears looking for food
right
at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're all wrapped up like a burrito. So but they, and they're going to these people's tents and sniffing around there for their food, see what they can steal.
Yeah.
So it's pretty scary. So there's all these grizzly bears and there's no food. So basically we're down to like, after a month, we're down to like 4 people, I think. It's crazy. It's crazy. We haven't seen this happen before. And it's like the other places, at least they could find fish or rabbits, and here it's just like barren, nothing. It's gorgeous, but there's and then this week on Glee, because we're into season 5. So we start off, episode 2 is Rachel finds out she got funny girl. And then the next episode, Finn dies. So we had this depressing, sad seasons of love kind of maudlin kind of episode. And then the next episode, Adam Lambert joins the cast as Star Child. Remember Star Child?
Yes, he was. Oh yes.
Yeah. So it's been like a up and down week for us. And of course, Rachel, who is played by Leah Michele, is now currently playing Funny Girl on Broadway, and liked my tweet. Okay, just saying.
Oh,
just saying. Fanny Bryce herself liked my tweet, so having a good time.
Good.
And I sure do like it when the celebrities take kindness upon us low lives.
Yes.
Let's see. High School Musical, the musical series, season 3, summer camp, episode Camp Prom. Okay, So it's the camp prom. No, none of the kids can. It's not a dating prom. Nobody goes to in dates. They're all singles, and so everyone can just have a good time, and no one feels like, oh, I don't have a date, so I shouldn't go. And but of course, a lot of things go wrong. Some things go right, and then next week is the season finale, which is the production of Frozen 2. Okay.
Now, are they going to show the whole thing?
No, because it's Disney Plus is promoting the fact that Frozen 2 is now available to high schools across the country, and it could look something like this. So, fun stuff. Reservation Dogs season finale. The cop, the cop from the reservation, he accidentally gets ayahuasca. You're familiar with that? It's a drug that basically it's like I think it's like acid.
Oh, okay.
So, and he ends up being out in the middle of they're all the reservation's kind of surrounded by forest. So he ends up out in the forest with this other guy who also is ayahuasca, and they're like freaking out, and then they're laughing, and then they're freaking out, and then they're vomiting, and then they come upon this group of men dressed like catfish. They have catfish heads, and they have four guys in front of them dressed like babies. They've got diapers on, but catfish heads. Come to find out, it is a political group who thinks that they should be owning the land of the reservation, not right. So they're out there, and these four guys are being brought into the group. So what they do is they take catfish, and you have to fuck their faces and come inside them. And what they do is afterwards they sell off all of the catfish to this one particular Indian reservation catfish place. So all the kids were, when they hear the news, all the kids are eating catfish, and they're like, get this out of my mouth. I've got some, white guy who wants to take our lands come in my mouth right now. So, so it was a really funny episode. It was a very funny episode, and which was good because the rest of the season was like not great. I mean, it was fine, but it's like they didn't have really an arc this season. They basically let us meet some of the people that we only slightly met in season one. And it was mostly the adults that got storylines this time. It was strange. It was weird. I'm not sure if I liked it or not. The rest of the season, but this episode was well worth watching. We finished Devil in Ohio. This is about the girl who gets found. She's got a pentagram on her back, carved in her back, and so the woman who's taking care of her, the psychiatrist, she's trying to keep her from her family finding her again. And so the ending was like blah. And overall the show was, I described it to somebody else I talked to about movies. I described it as like an attempt to make a 70s movie of the week.
Oh, right. Okay.
It was a good try, but it ran too long. This ran too long because it was 8 episodes, and it was never particularly scary. It was never particularly eerie. It was, I mean, they're devil worshippers, and I wasn't even freaked out at all. So weird. That's Netflix. So you can give it a try. You don't have to give it a try. Yeah. We're watching a new paranormal show called Ghosts of Devil's Perch, and this one of the people in it is Cindy, who is she's a psychic, and I've seen her on other shows, including the Holworth's Files, and she's a really good psychic. She's because some psychics you just kind of go, oh, they're they're just kind of playing the game of, oh,
Mhm.
somebody's mother died recently, that kind of game.
Yeah.
And she seems really legit. And I like really legit kind of this kind of stuff. So that's on Discovery Plus only.
Mhm.
Let's see. We started watching Welcome to Wrexham, which is a documentary, kind of a comedy documentary on Hulu with Ryan Reynolds in it. And we, after about 15 minutes, we're no longer watching the documentary with Ryan Reynolds on it.
Oh,
And that says something. If
yeah.
let's see, British Bake Off started on um, Netflix, and
Yes.
they've got a really good round of. There's a lot. I thought a lot more cuter guys than normal. Usually they have a couple, but
Yeah.
I thought there were like most of them were pretty cute.
Hmm.
And the person who wasn't particularly cute, he went home, so that's good. And we started watching The Imperfects on Netflix, which is another sci-fi show about kids who
Oh.
were given some drugs when they were younger, so they have
Mhm.
developed superpowers, and now and the only way to stop their powers from being activating is they need to be back on the medication that suddenly has just stopped being delivered to them. So they don't have their medication, so all their true problems, like one girl is a succubus, um,
Uh,
and she always has a air spray with her to kill the pheromones that she's giving out. So she's doing that. One guy's like a werewolf, and the other is she's got super sound, so she can hear everything. She actually has to have headsets, the noise canceling headsets that
mhm.
can still hear everything. So it's so far I'm not sure where this thing is going. But Sean seems to like it. And then I watched Morbius with Jared Leto, which is also Netflix.
Oh yeah, what you think of that?
Oh God, what a horrible movie. It's
We
just,
saw it in the theater,
oh
and
no,
yeah, because I mean, it's Marvel, and
not really. It's Sony, so it's not really Marvel.
well, yes, you are correct. However, anything that is kind of in that genre, our dear friend and patron of the show likes to watch. So we went and saw that, and yeah, we didn't really leave the theater feeling it.
Well, to quote one of our talented directors who also had a better summer movie, nope.
Mhm.
So there we go.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's just been um, we haven't had the air conditioner on for over a week since the since
Oh,
we dropped to 88 that one day.
uh-huh.
We haven't had the air on since that.
Wow. Nice.
So it's been nice, and it's like usually I would open up the house when it got into the 70s in the evening and had the whole house fan on, and
Hmm.
as the night progressively got cooler, it would get cooler, and so by 11 o'clock it was like low 70s, high 60s, which is delightful. But now it's like I can open the door right now and it's 68 degrees.
Right. Love that.
So loving,
I've been
loving
sleeping
that.
better too.
I know it says we're supposed to heat up next week, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It also said we weren't supposed to have rain till November, and here we are.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Is that it?
Sure.
That's a busy week. Come on, stop
And
that. Okay.
don't forget cat thing. What is it?
Call
What's
me
it?
Cat.
Call Me Cat starts next week.
Wow. I'm so excited. I was just watching an episode of that the other day. Anyway, so I spent some time watching a few things this week, including Clash of the Titans 2010. That's the one I know. That's the one
I
with
know
Ray
which one it is.
Fine. What?
I know which one it is.
Yeah, that's the one with Ray Fine and Liam Neeson, and they're playing gods and all that stuff. And I guess they were thinking that this was going to be an epic film. I mean, they certainly had a big epic cast, but wow,
Well,
This is a perfect example of sometimes you just don't need to remake a movie.
the Harry Hamlin one, even though as tacky and silly as it was a big hit.
Yeah.
So they thought, well, what if we did it with better special effects and bigger actors? And they found out that doesn't
Yeah,
mean
they
anything.
found out that the one thing that the other one had was an actual storyline. So just saying. Yeah. I just I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I had to do other stuff while I was watching it. Otherwise, I probably would have just turned it off. Um, Whatever. Hot guys though. Making and then I watched Making the Cut season 3. Now, did you finish it?
No,
You
I
haven't
still have
finished it yet.
it's one episode. So this is to where they just have the 3 left.
Yes. Okay. So Uh, I guess I will save that till next week when you have watched the final episode to talk about it because I have issues. But
Okay.
we'll talk about it then. But I do encourage it actually was a very good season. Although I am so over the gay fashion designer judge on that. I mean, Nicole Richie's fine, and all the little guests are fine, and I mean, what's her name?
Heidi.
Heidi, thank you. She comes across sometimes as kind of cold, but it's not cold. It's she has to be kind of the one that just lays it out there. This is the way it is, and that's her role, and
She
so
sure
it's good. But the gay judge, and I say gay because I can't remember his freaking name. He just get oh my god. I mean, he just thinks he's the fucking be all and end all of this shit, and anyway, and when he got so mad that he threw his, but actually it started to fall out of his hands, and I think he just went with it and threw it down. But threw his book down and told them, I mean, like he's some destroyed father because whatever, over the top. He needs to go.
Oh, I
Replace
know.
him.
But that week was terrible.
It was. No,
It
I'm
was
not saying it wasn't
terrible.
terrible. I'm just saying that he in himself being like just so fucking over the top all the time. Like,
Well, that's okay. You
ugh,
know
ugh,
why? You
ugh,
know why? You got Heidi, who's just kind of comes across as a bitch, and then Nicole, who used to be kind of
a
animated.
bitch, but now she's Paula Abdul.
Yeah, yeah, she's very kind and quiet. It's weird. So
Yeah,
they need to have somebody to play Michael Kors.
it needs to be somebody else. It needs to be Michael Kors. They need to get him from the other show because he at least was funny and
Well, he left
you
10 years
under
ago.
you agreed with what he said. He was on
Sure.
point, whether you liked it or not. This guy, he's just I don't know. He's like a bad imitation. It's whatever, and he's not funny either. He just reminds me of one of those like bitchy old queens who just cannot say anything nice about someone unless they suck his dick first. Anyway, moving on. So the Bachelorette, we already talked kind of about that. This is the show that doesn't end. I thought this was the last episode, and when they're like, and next week, I'm like, oh, again. I'm so tired of looking at these two women. And I don't want to be mean to them or whatever. And maybe you're right. Maybe it is the show that is making them like so weird. But
Well, Gabby is she's yeah.
it just makes me so glad I'm straight. I mean, gay. Oops. Yeah. No, it really makes me glad I'm gay because I just and the way that the guys are constantly trying to calm them down after they say this is my true feeling about something, and then they freak out and they say the same shit over and over, and the guys have to like constantly tell them no, you're not listening to what I said. Ah!
Well, I think that one thing that I mentioned before is
Mhm.
that these guys should know better what the
Right, you're
format
absolutely
of this
right.
show
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So I understand the girls being upset, but what they should do is what I do is I go to Jesse and go, okay, Jesse, you need to talk to these guys and remind them what the format of this fucking show is.
Right.
I don't look like I'm this chick that nobody wants to date.
Yep.
This is your problem, Jesse. Wait, your problem, Jesse, not mine.
Right. No, I completely agree. Just get the money, get the fame, and run. Anyway, so I did catch up on the episode of She-Hulk this week. It was interesting. It was interesting little plot, how I got around it, but it felt very like kids TV cartoonish in a way.
It's very sitcom.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean I don't dislike it, but it's not like I mean like Green Arrow, or was it not Green Arrow? Was it? No. What's his name?
The Arrow.
No, no. I'm talking about our Jeremy Renner, our sweetheart.
The Arrow.
No, his name's not the Arrow.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Hawkeye. There we go. That show was funny, but it was really amazing. Kids and adults could watch it, get a lot out of it. It just was really good and gave me hope. And I'm not saying I don't want to diss this show, but it's just lacking. So I did watch the Great British Bake Off. They've got some cute bearish guys on there, so
Yeah,
very
Sean's
cool.
all over the poll who won the first week.
Oh, I bet. I totally bet. He's a cutie and he really did a good job. I'm really happy with these bakers because except for, the one or two and the guy that went home who deservedly he had a bad week. It was his turn to go. Um, there's some really good bakers on here, and
Yeah,
I'm
there
looking forward
always
to
are.
this season. Yeah, I know there always are, but it seems like these guys it's like upping the game again. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I
Uh,
just can't believe that the girl who made the red velvet cake didn't win the week. I mean, Paul said that cake's better than the one I made.
yeah, you're right, and it was a really good cake.
And
In
where's the
fact, it
fucking
really made me
handshake?
want to go get one.
Where's her handshake?
I wondered that too. He said that is better than
The
my,
one I made.
I'm like, go, yeah, exactly. In fact, there was another one that he said was just so amazing. And I'm like, no handshake.
Yeah, that was the signature bake, one of the last people, and they were really excited. Well, I'll take
Yeah,
that. Yeah, that's where's the handshake?
yeah. Actually, it was funny. Remember the little clip? He actually made me laugh when he did the whole, oh, I baked some muffins the other day and they were really good. And then he like said, and he shook his own hand. Did you see that part? That actually made me laugh. Um, okay, I started was looking for something to watch last night, and I ended up going back and finding that I had left off in RuPaul's Drag Race, season 11, episode 8, and this is the episode where Miss Vanjie comes back for her big, retake. Um, I don't know. These queens. I mean, I loved it. I got right back into it. I was totally into it. I love RuPaul's Drag Race, and I'm looking forward to catching up to the new ones. But anyway, and at nighttime, I've been watching Halloween Baking Championship. I'm currently on season 3. I'm
Oh,
easing into the autumn stuff, and I'm really glad that now, yeah, and the name's leaving me, but they
Carla.
what? Oh no,
Carla.
I love oh my God, I love her.
I don't know what you're talking about. You said I can't.
I'm trying to. So they changed hosts. The new host in season 3 was John Hanson. Before that, it was the guy that does the puppet things that I can't remember his name. He's a famous comedian. You'd know who he is. He's got a new show coming out with more puppets now. Anyway, he was so bad. He was just not a good host for that.
Well,
So
because you know there it's on the new one's on now.
yes, in fact, I discovered that by accident, but I want to finish out the old ones because they're only like 6 episodes a piece. So by the time they've got more new one, the full season out, I'll get to it.
Well, Skunk Boy is back as the host, so
Well, that's cool. I mean, I don't mind him. He's a little dry, but
But that's John Hanson.
exactly. So he'll be good. Um, and then I went back and watched some Indebted with Fran Drescher. Um, and yes, the show's still bad, but it's fun bad now. The only other things is that I had gotten a shadow box. You know what a shadow box is?
It's a play from the 1970s.
Yes. Well, for those listeners that don't know, it's like a picture frame, but it's like a thick one with glasses so that you can put like actual things in it, not just a painting or a picture. You can
What are
put
those things
like,
called?
what?
Those things called that you when you were a kid you did like a little scene.
Like a diorama or
Diorama. It's like a
yeah.
diorama but with glass.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, actually, that's good. So I got one of those, and I last night I put a whole bunch of like things that my father had owned in it, like his badges and his uh you know veteran medals and things like that, and pins and stuff that were important to him, and his cross and all that. So I put that all in that and made it look as nice as I could. And yeah, so put that up. So it's almost so by the time, actually, we won't record by the time it is the day a year ago that he passed. So it's just a nice little way to, kind of preserve all that stuff and have a moment to remember all that, even though he drove me crazy most of the time. And then the only other thing is, I love that the kilted coaches, for anybody that follows them, for anyone that doesn't, go do it. They're really awesome. I've like been part of that little clan for years. Um, they are back doing like personalized videos and behind the scenes videos and like hanging out more and having fun, and it's been really great to see. And I love that they whenever I comment on their stuff, they always comment back, and they're like, good to
See,
see
isn't
you
it great?
back. And yeah, it's just really
when,
fun.
when they talk to the low lies, it's great.
Exactly. That's us, low life chubs. Anyway, all right.
By the way, I thought that said killed cockroaches respond my comments, and I'm like, killed cockroaches, what the fuck does that mean? I don't have the
Yeah.
glasses on.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and to be you. Father,
Father.
oh, Father. No. So, Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who've been told that we are too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. And Chubbs listeners, you can do that by using the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything while ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com. And don't forget to grab a bag for all that candy that you're going to get while you're out trick or treating. They have the really cutest, like
Really
Pat
cute.
Parker bags that you can use for all occasions, but for out, they've got little daddy bags and stuff like that. It's very, very fun. So, well, it's time for Vice. This comes from Dear Prudence over at slate.com. My ex and I used in vitro fertilization to have our son. She had ovarian cancer. We had multiple embryos made, but our marriage dissolved a year after our son was born. The embryos are currently on ice, and legally we both have consent to their use. I pay for the storage. It was too painful a topic to talk about during the divorce, and neither of us wanted to speak about the potential children we could have had. Our son is 6 now. We have equal custody in a civil relationship, at least until my ex's sister lost her husband in a car accident last year. It was an unbelievable tragedy, and the sister was injured so badly she had to have a hysterectomy. I would have done anything to help, but The sister is now fixated on our embryos as her only solution to have a child. She wants to hire a surrogate to have us donate the embryos to her. My ex is all for it. She sees it as a chance to bring light out of darkness, and give our children a chance to survive, or a chance to live. I just can't agree to this. I love my son with every fiber of my being, but I don't want more children with his mother. I also don't want someone else raising my children. I would not be able to cope with this. I told them no, it has wrecked my relationship with my ex. Her parents have called me begging me to relent. Her sister has sent me several long handwritten letters that I refuse to read. Our son is confused and sad. He has overheard remarks about me not letting his little brothers and sisters be born. In our last conversation about it, I told my ex that unless she wants to get lawyers involved, the discussion was over. She hasn't brought it up since. I feel tremendous guilt over the entire affair. I cared for my brother-in-law and mourned his loss. My former sister-in-law is a nice woman and doesn't deserve the hand she was dealt. Am I being too selfish?
Yeah.
What?
They're not his. It's not his. He's not going to father them. So it's not. What's he worried about? It's not going to be any more children for him, right?
Oh,
He's
okay.
not fathering them. They're going to get a surrogate. They're not going to have him father the kids. So
What?
okay, so
Okay, so these are fertilized embryos
they're
that are frozen.
fertilized.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So they're actually like viable. Like if they were put in a woman and took,
yeah.
they're baby. They
Then
would
no,
become babies. Yeah. Okay,
no,
but just in
they
case
should
any of
just
our
be
listeners didn't,
they should just be destroyed.
I think that's illegal now, isn't it?
Well, it depends on the state, girl.
Well, it's under 15 weeks, so Lindsey Graham would, be fine with it. He
It's
only
not.
likes them when they're older. Um, so I agree. Well, not that they need to be destroyed, but I know that I would not be comfortable with someone else like raising, or not necessarily raising my kids, but just like me not having access. They would just be like somebody else's kids. I just wouldn't deal well with that. So I understand, and I don't think he's being selfish.
I didn't even think you could fertilize an embryo and then freeze it.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's news to me. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, well, let's see what your Prudence had to say too. All right. If suffering worked like a math problem, I might be able to make a ruling about whether you're being selfish. If Angela has suffered X due to a terrible car accident and believes Y would make her Z quality happy, then Brian does not consent to share Y. How bad a person is he? Solve for miserliness. Oh dear Prudy. Um, but you can see, I think, just how quickly such an analogy falls apart. It comes to something as complicated as reproductive and autonomy, co-parenting, consent, and family dynamics. It's terrible that your former sister-in-law was in a car accident and that she had to have an unexpected, unwanted hysterectomy. She deserves excellent medical care, robust emotional support, and the opportunity to grieve. But it doesn't negate the importance of joint consent when it comes to the future of your embryos you and your wife stored. And it doesn't mean you can simply ignore your feelings about your relationship to whatever children those embryos might produce. You did right to draw the line with your ex after she drew your son into the conversation. What an awful way to try to manipulate a child. And I think you should insist on only speaking through your lawyers about the embryos in the future. You may need to have a clarifying conversation with your son on your own. Resisting the temptation to fight fire with fire or use him to get back at your ex where you answer his questions in honest, age-appropriate language so he has a better understanding of what a stored embryo is, besides, my little brother and mom says dad won't let come live with us. The fact that you feel guilty is unsurprising. Not because I think you should feel guilty, but because more than one of your relatives has pulled an all-out stops trying to make you feel guilty. And guilt trips often work, but it would not be right to donate these embryos knowing, as you do, that you would be unable to think of them as your sister-in-law's children. Committing to a lifetime of possibly antagonistic co-parenting, you've done the right thing, I think. It just doesn't always feel good. All that to say, you shouldn't feel guilty. And done. Hey, Chubs, do you decorate for Halloween, Salad?
No.
Of course I do. Have you met me? All right. Hey, Chubs, when is the last time you saw a blood-related relative?
Saw is, you mean like
in person?
Well, let's see, it was recently, because it was, what was maybe it might just be back at Christmas.
Okay.
And you can't count your mother.
Oh, okay. Well, if I can't count mommy, then
Blood related.
Memorial Day.
And who was there?
My uncle.
Okay.
Her brother. My uncle, her brother. Okay. Well, there we go. Hey, Tom, take a guess. How much candy is purchased for Halloween each year?
50. No, let's see. Let's go. 1 billion pieces.
Oh, actually, I don't know. According to Huffington Post, Americans purchase nearly 600 million pounds of candy each year for Halloween. That's roughly 24 pounds of candy per American per year. Approximately 16 billion fun-sized Snicker bars, or 158 trillion individual candy corn kernels. Yum.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Snickers bar. Thank you. All right, well, what's in your lunchbox? Mr. Moose wrote in. Who knew? He said, trying to get out of my rut. Ordered beef and mushrooms in brown sauce, a variety of mushrooms in a very strong sauce. That looks really good.
Yeah.
Hubby wanted a light meal today at the Chinese restaurant. He ordered winter melon soup. Base is egg drop soup.
Yeah.
They added shrimp, winter melon, peas, and carrots, and he liked it. That's really cool. I mean, I'm not really a soup person, but I did make some good chicken soup the other day. Had a stressful week. We have a squirrel that chewed its way into our attic. Those furry little shits cost a lot of money to remove. Looks, sorry, that was funny. Looks like a little over $1,000 if it is only one and they get him quickly. I may need to start a Moose's Murder squirrel fund. Need a better name though. When I get stressed, I tend to eat without thinking. No variety. This week was chicken curry for lunch and salad for dinner. Let's face it, those are boring pictures. He said that, not me. I actually think they're kind of cool. And curry for a week? Dear God, I can smell myself. And it isn't pleasant. You let me be the judge. But I do clear a wide space in the gym for training. Kind of nice, except, man, when I need a spotter. No one will come near. But tonight, wanted spaghetti. Made a quick sauce with fresh peeled tomatoes, olive oil, garlic, and for a touch of sweetness to balance out the acidity of the tomato, carrots. Grass-fed brie, grass-fed beef and mushrooms complete the sauce. I mix in a little cheese directly into the sauce so it melts and gets into every bite. Sauce is sauce is over whole wheat pasta and needed this change of flavor. And that looks like a really good. I don't know about carrots in my sauce. I mean, I guess.
I would have shredded them up, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a smart idea.
Yeah, it's but I always hear people saying, oh, authentic Italian, you add a little sugar to your sauce. Okay, that's a good way to do it. All right. Next up is me. The first picture that you're going to see is an absolutely beautiful plate of food from Long John Silver's. Now, this is the best Long John Silver's I have ever had. And it was like maybe the day after maybe the day that they changed the grease, or I don't know what, but this was just the crispest, freshest tasting fish and chicken. The fries were great. Coleslaw, went right home about it. But the best hush puppies I've ever tasted. They were
What are
so
those
fresh.
black spots?
Those are little kernels that say, this is done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
The last time I was at Long John Silver's,
mhm,
I got basically the same plate.
mm,
And when I bit into my fish,
oh,
there was no fish.
oh,
It had
lucky.
it had disintegrated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it was so thin, and with the frying process, it
Mm.
just kind of disintegrated into the thing. So it was like having a big nothing.
Huh.
It was weird.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh,
that was like 3 or 4 years ago. So that was the last
well,
time.
you should go get some of this stuff. Maybe
But
it's.
that's the one I got it from.
Oh, okay.
I know it's 4 years, but
Yeah.
still.
Well, I'll just in honor of you, we didn't ring the bell on the way out. Hmm. Okay. Uh, so next up we what?
I said nothing.
Okay. Next up, we have a stir fry that I did for my mom's lunch, and I had a little too, and it was really good. So it is basically I boil chicken breasts that are boneless and skinless, and then I cube them up, put them in a frying pan with a little bit of butter, add a fresh tomato that's all diced up, some sweet corn from a can.
You could just, like Italians, just throw a little sugar in.
There, well, that's what I put the corn in for. It's sweet corn. Um, got some sliced mushrooms in there, and then I used some rosemary, thyme, sage, a little garlic salt, little pepper. Mm, it was so.
When I saw this picture, I thought it was an ashtray.
Oh, well, thank you.
I didn't have my glasses on. I deliberately took off my glasses, and I can see corn now, but it looked like, when people just, you know how the ashtray is always heaving, and I'm like, what is this ashtray doing here? And then I put my glasses on, I realized what it was. Well,
Oh,
I didn't realize what it was, but I
yeah.
realized it wasn't an ashtray.
Well, you know me, I go around eating ashtrays all the time.
Well, this wasn't against you. This was against me not having my glasses on.
Well, next up is another ashtray, only this one contains Indian tiki masala and spinach basamati.
Oh, I want to
Right.
try that. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, is it basmati rice?
Yes, you got it. That's it.
But what's the
Uh,
green?
that's the rice. It's a spinach rice.
Oh, spinach. Okay. No, I'm
Yeah.
making basmati rice tonight.
Oh, that's cool. I'm
I
sure
like
I've
it.
had it, but I don't
Yeah,
know the difference.
you should try it. It's a stronger grain, so it doesn't feel all mushy. It works on things with a heavy gravy like this,
Oh,
um,
okay.
but it doesn't work on things like um, where it's mostly like the rice is its own thing, and you
Mm,
have no, actually I do like that because you can put a little butter in there, and it tastes really good. I like basmati rice. Okay, that's what.
Okay.
And this looks good. I want this.
Yeah. And that was sent in by Mr. Michael Sage. Next up, we have a submission from Nephi. He said, "This is a KFC 2-piece and a biscuit in honor of Tom." Yeah. The other piece of chicken is buried at the bottom, and I think he had an orange soda with it.
I think the other piece of chicken is gone. And
No,
he thought,
he said it's in there. It's just under
okay.
the other one, but
I keep trying to tip it so I can see, but I can't.
Yeah. Well, he got it because he had a coupon.
Right. Well, it's probably because that looks like a breast, so it was probably a breast wing. So the wing's probably tucked underneath.
Yeah. And next up, we have a submission from our Baron Frosty, and he sent in leftover Szechuan chicken on leftover pasta.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. That
did
bowl.
Moose come over and take this picture?
Yeah, the bowl itself is just gorgeous.
Well, yeah, but look at the broccoli and how and the stuff that's poured over the top, the Szechuan stuff.
Looks beautiful, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm shit, and I ate before this, deliberately hoping that I wouldn't get hungry.
But now you are.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten anything yet today, so when I get it here, I'm gonna stuff myself with some broccoli. All right. Okay, well, now that we have done that, don't forget that you can send us pictures of what's in your lunchbox by just using the email chubsgonewild@gmail.com. In fact, you can send us anything that you like, within reason, at chubsgonewild.com. And don't forget that anybody that sends us something is going to get entered into that year-end contest we're doing. Get a little Christmas something or a little Hanukkah something or whatever holiday something you might like. Also, you can leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Watch us on YouTube. Just go over and look up Chubs Gone Wild. Please become a patron of the show over at patreon.com/MattBurlingame. Find Tom's movie and TV reviews over at SolarJed.com. Find their podcast in iTunes or in iHeartRadio. And find out more about my books at justkisstheguy.com. And check out my other podcast, BigGaySexShow.com. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.